economics program in MG University. So here we explain a case where we analyze the total benefit that an economy gets when the economy does not engage in trade. Or it's a situation where equilibrium happens without trade. There is no trade. Economy is a very closed one. It has no connections with the rest of the world. There is neither export nor import. The economy does not export. The economy does not import. So let us suppose our imaginary country is isolated from the rest of the world. So we say that the country is isolated from the rest of the world. ROW means rest of the world, from other countries. So Gregory Mankiw, interestingly, he has named this country as Isoland. Isoland. So our country's name is Isoland. This is called Isoland perhaps because of it is isolated from the rest of the world. And our country is therefore a closed economy where there is no import and export. Therefore, the market for a commodity in the country, say textiles, consists of only the buyers and sellers of that country. Simply speaking, the market of this country consists of only the buyers and sellers of that country, because nobody from the outside is selling the commodity, and nobody from the inside is buying the commodity from the outside. That means there is no import and there is no export. So therefore, the market for the commodity in the country consists of only the buyers and sellers of that country. The following figure shows the market equilibrium of textiles or market equilibrium of any commodity in such a country. Okay, so our country is isolated from the rest of the world. It does not export and import, so it's a closed economy, and therefore the market consists of only the buyers and sellers of this country. Now this is the figure showing the equilibrium in such a country. Okay, so here along the horizontal axis we show the quantity, and along the vertical axis we show the price, and this is the demand. So it is written here domestic demand. It is domestic demand because the demand consists of only the buyers, or the demand consists of the demand from the buyers of the country, and it is domestic supply because this supply is made by the producers of that country, sellers of that country. So this is a supply curve and this is the demand curve. So both curve cut each other at this point. So this is the equilibrium point, and how much commodity is sold and bought at this point. To know that, we extend a line from here to the axis where quantity is measured. So this is equilibrium quantity, and to know the equilibrium price we extend a dotted line from here to the axis where the price is shown. So this is the equilibrium price. Okay, this is the equilibrium price. Now what is the benefit of the consumers or consumer surplus? You know that the consumer surplus is here, the consumer surplus is measured by the area above this equilibrium price and below this demand curve. So therefore this area shows the consumer's surplus. So consumer surplus is measured by the area below the demand curve and above the equilibrium price. So this is the consumer surplus. Whereas the producer surplus is the area above the supply curve and below this price, below this equilibrium price. So this is the producer surplus. So together you can say that this total area shows total surplus or total benefit. So therefore total surplus is equal to consumer surplus plus producer's surplus. And this area you can name this area, for example TES, So the area TES, for example, TES shows the total surplus, or this is a total benefit that the producers and consumers of that country receives when there is no trade. So this is a particular situation when there is no trade. That's why we have named it the equilibrium without trade. So this is the explanation. As the figure shows, the domestic price adjusts to balance the quantity supplied and quantity demanded. This is a point. And the figure shows the consumer and producer surplus in the equilibrium without trade. So this figure shows consumer and producer surplus in the equilibrium without trade. The sum of consumer and producer surplus measures what? The total benefit that buyers and sellers receives. So this figure explains a case where there is no trade, equilibrium of the economy without trade.